Hello, everybody, and welcome to part two. I don't even think I need to give my usual introduction because if you're seeing part two without watching part one first, well, go freaking watch part one for some frame of reference. What are you doing on this video? Get out of here. Go to part one. Anyway, but for those of you who have seen part two already, welcome back. And now, we're going to, as we progress here, we're going to move more into swimsuit edition Katerina, and Kristen may or may not pop in, but we're going to start with just talking about how she became swimsuit edition Katerina here, because the answers are not what you might think, because she didn't go on any crazy crash diet, she didn't take any crazy pills, nothing that the mainstream would have you think is the way to get in shape. So she has a very unique story. Well, not unique, I mean there's millions of people that have done this, but just unique relative to the majority of people have not heard of this. So she's been wanting to share this for quite a while, so I'm going to shut the fuck up and let her start doing that. So go ahead, Katerina.
Well, hi everybody. My name's Katerina Edwards Roy, and if you don't know me, I am an artist, and I've been a person on Facebook delivering a lot of inspirational messages over the past couple of years, and for a lot of years I've actually dealt with chronic health issues. And no matter what I was trying, I actually just felt like I could never really get beyond them. It felt like I was always sort of just dealing with health challenges. It felt like I was really limited in my life, and weight loss aside, my life was really impacted and hindered and really diminished because I was chronically just ill. So day in, day out, I was dealing with pain and inflammation and really severe acne breakouts that were very painful. And it wasn't just a cosmetic thing. It was like actually painful and very debilitating. So, this is my story. And I have, in the past almost 12 months, it's almost August, and so almost 12 months, I have released over 60 pounds and gotten my health back. I'm capable and very just strong and able to do stuff in life. I still have, some days where I'm running a little lower than normal, but it's nothing like it used to be. My health just in general is just really stable and even now, where I can walk for miles and do things and go out with friends and have a life and make my art again. And there's just so much that has been added to my life. And so I really just want to share with you the journey about this transformation. So I've got a photo slideshow thing that I want to kind of take you guys through, a visual journey of my past 12 months. And Dave, you can unmute yourself. I want to make this a conversation. It's not just me talking over here. I see Kristen's trying to pop on the line too.
I can easily click unmute. It's just I mute myself just to make sure that you don't feed back into yourself, and that it doesn't
I got you.
Annoying
I got you.
Logical shit. That's all.
Let's see what Kristen's doing. Is Kristen on? Looks like she's just kind of a black screen here. Hi, Kristen. Okay, so.
That's interesting. I'm sure Kristen will say something when she is able. But in the meantime, go ahead with your slideshow, Katerina.
Well, if Kristen's on, could she mute herself? Because I have heard some stuff coming from her side.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Hi. I thought you were like a ghost getting on the line.
Hey, we hear.
Yeah, I'm in the room with a couple other people, but I am going to be listening. So.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Yeah, we don't see you, but we do hear you.
Okay. I'll mute myself. But yes, you look really cute, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Okay. So where were we? I'm going to go into the slideshow. So I'm going to have to go and screen share. Okay. So we're going to screen share. And we're going to go into this folder. So right away, you can see that this was me in Costa Rica, like how many years ago? This was 3 years ago. So I had been like trying to like do stuff with my food and trying to pursue different things before this time. And during this time, I was really eating a lot of like fruits and veggies and beans and rice and all sorts of stuff. And I was actually feeling better than I had at this point. When I was 18, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I'd been struggling with like the Epstein-Barr virus since I was 12. This is my husband, Paul. And so, but I still really struggled a lot, like with just my health and my weight and stuff in general. And I just didn't feel really energetic or healthy a lot of the time. So it was really challenging to actually like have energy and a zest for life. Like, but at the same time, I was still in Costa Rica and I met the love of my life and just was in a lot of beauty, but it was kind of hard to enjoy it. So I will be the first to admit that this wasn't like the most healthy time of my life. This was the next year when I was in Texas. We had moved from Costa Rica into Texas, and I actually gained some weight when I came back to the United States. I had started kind of eating more like gluten foods and just in general, like more meats and fats and all kinds of stuff. And my body was severely inflamed by those foods. So essentially, like I knew that it wasn't the best stuff for me to be eating, but at the same time, my tongue totally wanted it. And I just was really like, oh, whatever. I kind of had gotten sort of apathetic to the whole like changing what I ate in order to better my health thing, because I had just done it and tried it for so many years, and just nothing I was doing was really helping or making a difference. So yeah, it was really discouraging. So yeah, I had been trying to like amend my food stuff and trying to tweak with different diets and different naturopathic remedies and strategies and allopathic medicines to deal with my chronic issues for quite some time, like since I was 17 years old. So in this photo here, this was just 2 years ago. So I was 23. So that's a long time to be trying to deal with that. So then this was the next year, and I was in Honolulu. This was shortly before I started getting this really, really severe health issue, which was really uncomfortable. It was, don't mind me as I'm like kind of augmenting this. This health issue was really uncomfortable because it was something that I struggled with my nerves, and my nerves would get really inflamed, and I had, dealt with the pain, but the fact is that I felt like I had like little electrical storms going up and down in my nerves, and I had like no energy, and it was really hard for me to like walk up and down stairs and walk up and down the hill that we lived on in Honolulu. And just in general, I just was really tired and lethargic and couldn't really do much. And I had a lot of brain fog. And for those who don't know what brain fog is, it's just like very clouded thinking and very scrambled thinking. And I was just really hypersensitive to a lot of things too. So I had a lot of mood swings and just in general was not very happy or healthy. But at the same time, tried to remain positive, just to get through it. And I really think that all the stuff that I had been learning about paradigm shifting really kind of helped me to this point of being able to like stick it out and have a mostly good attitude about stuff, even though I had been struggling a lot. And yeah, so, but this was like shortly before I had the experience of having this cold sore outbreak, which actually flared all of that stuff. I used to struggle with like cold sores really bad, and chronic UTIs and those kinds of things, stuff that I don't normally post on my Facebook, but like I was still dealing with it, and it was really hard to deal with and just really painful. I mean, like this picture kind of says it all. Like at that time, like I was just tired and just really fed up and frustrated that this is the shit I was dealing with day in, day out. And so meanwhile, like all of this like desire for change was really mounting in me. Like, you know, I prayed to God a lot. I was like asking him, you know, please help me with this, because I am really struggling. And I am at the end of my rope. Felt like I had a lot of points at this time where I felt really suicidal, just because the pain in my body and the feelings that I was having were so depressing and bad. And yeah, it was just really, really hard to deal with and cope with at the time. So my friends will who know me kind of understand what I was going through at this time, like you guys. I laid in bed a lot. I was really quite fatigued and tired again. So these are all photos from the same month before I started what I'm going to get into and tell you about. Just kind of laying the groundwork here. So this is like the first week of what I started as the medical medium. He has this protocol called the well, it's basically his strategy is really helping people overcome these autoimmune disorders and things like that, that he really points out is that they're caused by these viral infections and bacterial infections that people don't even know are really at the root of all of this. And by combating it with plant foods, plant-based eating, you actually can really overcome a lot of these challenges that people think are incurable. And like, to show you, like years before this, like I had been dealing with the same stuff year in, year out, and just was not getting any help or relief from any of the medical system or even the alternative health system. So it really kind of took something that was new to get me to venture out of that box of thinking, because I didn't really want to go back to the places where I had tried and failed a million times to try to get my health back, and nobody was really able to address the underlying stuff for me. So this right here, this picture is my heavy metal detox smoothie, which has wild blueberries, cilantro, spirulina, dulse, and I don't think I had the barley grass juice powder in this picture, but that's the fifth ingredient that the medical medium recommends to really mobilize the toxic heavy metals that are in our system that feed things like Epstein-Barr virus. So yeah, this was the start of my journey. It was July 28th. And then I ventured into making like more smoothies and juices and stuff like that. You can see all of my fruit and all of that going on. Like I read his book, The Secrets of Chronic and Mystery Illness, in like one day, because I had come across it after I had a theta healing session with somebody, and she had helped me to examine the belief that like I needed to have Hashimoto's disease, like this really painful autoimmune disorder that had been wrecking my life and making me feel like I just wanted to die. Like she challenged that belief. And then what did I find? Like, but 2 hours later was this article at the top of my Facebook news feed showing me like that there is more about the thyroid than people have previously understood. And I read the article by the medical medium, Anthony Williams, and I just cried. I was like, oh my God, this guy knows exactly the stuff I've been going through. Like I felt like that was my answer. God gave me my answer, but I first had to release the idea that like I had to be this way, that I couldn't be something else, which was really hard to release. Like the idea of releasing that was like, oh yeah, right. Like, no way. This is how I've been. This is how I'm always going to be. Everybody's told me that this is how it is and how it has to be. And I haven't really heard about a lot of people like overcoming their autoimmune disorders. Like I've heard of people managing them, but nobody really like transforming their lives and getting better. So that was like a really big deal for me. And then that is when medical medium came into my life, and I was receptive to the information. Like I just took it and ran with it because my soul was telling me like this is what I needed in order to heal my body.
Hey, Katerina.
Yeah. What's up?
This everybody is 2012 Katerina and then 2017 Katerina. So I'm sharing the screen at the moment.
Do I need to stop sharing my screen?
No, all you need to do is be able to, look at the Google Hangout window just to see what I'm showing. I mean, obviously.
Oh, I can see.
Okay, you can see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as I am speaking, it's going to show my screen, and when you speak, it's going to show what you have going on. So obviously on the left here is Katerina in 2012, and on the right is Katerina from part 1 of this 2-part episode.
Yeah, in 2012, that's when I was diagnosed with the fibromyalgia and was just dealing with like so much stuff. Actually, fibromyalgia was 2010, actually. So I had been dealing with fibromyalgia for 2 years at that point. So yeah, okay. Are we ready for me to continue?
Oh yeah, totally. I just wanted to bring this up because I had made the little graphic of it, and as we can see, it's gotten a lot of response, and people have been asking about it on DeviantArt and everything else too. So, now we're finally doing the part 2, but this is the little advertisement that I made for it, kind of the before and after. And it says, though she isn't going to be paying your grocery bill for you, the information will be provided for free, and you could use it or not. That's entirely up to you. No special courses, no crash diets, no pills, nothing crazy. A little health knowledge simply goes a long way, as you can see. So it's all about being informed. You're not going to be sold any products or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, obviously people got to buy their own veggies. I mean, that's not an unreasonable expectation. You're not going to buy veggies for the world. But, other than that.
Right, totally. So, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, it's good.
It's back up. You see the blender and the veggies and stuff. Okay. Cool. So yeah. So obviously, like the first couple of days of this, I was kind of like tired and rebooting and stuff, and it was just like coping with the new changes. But like the first couple of days, I actually dealt with like this really crazy outbreak of acne. I don't think anybody's seen this picture, but like that's the kind of cysts I used to get. Like they would be ginormo. Can you guys supposed to see those?
Yes.
I can see.
Yeah. Yeah, man. This is a hard part in my life. But yeah, I'm like showing this stuff because I just want to show people like that my journey hasn't been like all roses. I mean, there's been definitely progress, and you kind of deal with cleansing symptoms as your body goes through this stuff, and you eat healthy meals and everything. Your body kicks the crap out and kicks the viral stuff out and the bacterial stuff out and all the other stuff that's been hanging out in your system. And yeah, so I started eating August 1st to September 28th, I want to say. Like I did about a 2-month like raw like overhaul. Like the medical medium really advocates for like, a 28-day fruit and veggie cleanse kind of thing, where you kind of like limit your fat intake and, cut out protein and all that kind of like animal proteins and stuff like that. And just really focus on getting your food from raw fruits and vegetables. And a lot of people are like really scared about that because they think that they're going to not have enough protein. But actually, like a lot of the protein that people get from animal meat is actually because animals eat plants. And so plants are really, they provide you all the protein that you actually need so long as you're getting sufficient food intake. So yeah, I would eat like these big salads and stuff, and like these ice cream bowl things, which are not really ice cream. It's banana and wild blueberries and stuff, but they're frozen. So it's like, it tastes like ice cream, you know, it's like a sherbet, which is really yummy. This is me being silly, playing with fruit. This is star fruit. But I just started incorporating like lots of different stuff, and my spirits were starting to get better. This was about 2 weeks in. And this is me 2 weeks in. Like, I started feeling like a lot more clear-headed and just more like alive. I would also drink celery juice. I still do, like every morning, 16 ounces of celery juice. So that really started changing how my digestion was working, and just in general, like I was feeling like a lot more vibrant and stuff. And you can see that that like outbreak that was by my eye has gone away, and the cleansing symptoms started kind of kicking up and flushing stuff out. And these pants were like size 16 pants that were starting to get a little loose on me. So that was pretty cool to see, just like that my body was starting to change already. I was taking ionic zinc, which was really something that I still take and is important, because zinc is a mineral that is usually depleted in our soil. And when you supplement it, like particularly with this kind of zinc, you are able to have your cells start building up your immune system, and you're able to get this really essential vitamin so that you can function better. At least that's what it did for me. So this is about 20 days in, and I also simultaneously was like interested in Dressing Your Truth, and realized that I wasn't a type 1 in Dressing Your Truth. I was actually type 4. So I went and changed my style and stuff, and it was cool because I actually had the energy to like go out by myself and like go to a dressing room and like go try on clothes, when like a couple of days prior, like, you know, I didn't want to get out of bed. Like, it was all I could do to kind of just get to my yoga mat. So just in like 20 days, like that's the kind of transformation that happened. And I started dressing in different styles and stuff, and was starting to feel a little spunkier and like a little bit more like lively, and like I could actually, you know, be up and doing stuff and going to stores and everything. And that was just 21 days of doing this. So that's pretty remarkable considering the state I was in prior. So yeah, these are zucchini noodles, zoodles. And so I had made like this pasta dish for Paul and I that night. It was really yummy. It's like I think this one was the pesto. Yeah, I think it was a bit of a pesto-y kind of thing. It's really good. But just getting, the whole premise is to just increase the amount of fruits and veggies you eat, and just start noticing how your body starts getting fueled up by that, and your immune system can start functioning better and attacking the things that are really impacting it. And so, yeah, I started just feeling like more clear-headed and just more like myself, which is really cool. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to show this picture just because I love you two, but this was something that I had done on my phone because I really like, not because I'm gross or a pervert or whatever, but like I just wanted to feel like that naked, you know, just like feel vibrant and alive and filled with like joy and light in my body, because like I had not had that experience since I was like a kid. So not because I'm like, oh, look, like titties, like this was a kind of way for me to sort of visualize what that would look like and feel like. And these words were connected to that: joy, love, peace, connection, and ease in my body. And of course, there's number synchronicities right there too. But yeah, this picture kind of cracks me up now because like I look at this and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of me now. All right. But August 22nd of last year, that was not me. You know what I mean? Anyway, comments, because you just saw my nudie pictures on my phone that I like. Does that make you chuckle? What do you think about that, Kristen?
But now here's the question: is that total Photoshop, or are those actually your titties?
Those are not my titties. This is my head with my Photoshop skills put onto this painting picture thingy of this like fairy nymph thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious and honestly 100% relatable to me.
Do you think it's hilarious?
Yeah.
Honestly, 100% what?
And if you're looking like that nowadays, good job.
Yeah.
Thank you. This fairy lady is a hell of a lot more tan than I am. But
that's okay.
Yeah, essentially. But that's the kind of thing though, is like you kind of need to like know where you're going, and it was a way of kind of just like keeping the course, you know, just being like, all right, this is my health.
Don't worry, people. We'll be getting to the part where Katerina lays out on the bed soon enough. But sorry, there's going to be no titties seen.
No titties. Sorry, those aren't my titties. You guys can just use your imagination.
You're not going to get to see her actually. That's just not going to happen. Sorry, guys.
But in all seriousness, you know, I had heard that like technique before from other people of like, you know, just kind of like imagine like what you want your body to feel like and what you want to feel like in your body. And, you know, of course I want to be sexy. It's fun to be sexy. And being somebody who's had like a lot of like trauma and sexual abuse stuff in my family, like I wanted to feel comfortable being sexy. And that was like a part of the healing that has happened over the past year in me too. Because, you know, this is the intention that I'd kind of set for myself was this like, you know, I want to reclaim the totality of me, mind, body, and spirit. So anyway, moving on. I was having so many like this uptick in number synchronicities at the time. So I would look at my phone and like capture these moments. So like 222 on August 22nd, or but 1234 on the August 23rd. What, Paul? I mean, what, Dave?
But well, speaking of Paul, but you know that the social justice warriors are going to be mad because you're fucking a white male.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, speaking of Paul.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, these are kind of like the meals that I would eat. Like I would just like eat huge fruit and veggie kind of things. Like this was during my cleanse, right? So this is actually the last day of my first month of my cleanse, and this is kind of the stuff I was eating. And I was up and able to like work on website stuff, and this was something I was doing for someone else at the time, a project I was doing. But I had the energy to be able to kind of go do that stuff, and it was cool. Because before it was like I was struggling to do that. So this is the first day of the second month, and I'd been having like a lot of emotional clearing and spiritual clearing and all sorts of clearing. So you can kind of see it reflected in my eyes versus like, you know, like this kind of like far away look, like just not really wanting to do life. You can see like the light kind of coming back into my eyes and my spirit.
Yeah, or like the 2012 one I showed.
Yeah.
Where you were like, you know, and now obviously we can tell that there's a difference because there's a transformation taking place.
Yeah, so this is just like, I'm showing this to kind of chart that transformation. You can start seeing it in my eyes really, like my skin is starting to glow a bit more. Like I wasn't really wearing any makeup in this picture, I don't think. So you can just see like I was starting to look a little bit more lustrous in my skin. Wild, magical, and free mermaids. All the fruit and everything. Fruit is mermaid food. Well, maybe fairy food. But yeah, I just felt like my personality was kind of coming back, because that's something that has also happened over the past couple of years of being chronically ill, is like there's like this weird dissociation thing that happens when you feel like this, where you don't really feel like yourself. You just kind of feel like you're just trapped in this body that doesn't work, and you're just like feeling hopeless. And it's hard to have ambition when you're feeling like this. But I started feeling like my own personal sense of self coming back, like really from this point forward, which is really quite the blessing for me. So yeah, here's just some more pictures. I think I was sitting here drinking my celery juice in this picture. I would often like sit and drink my celery juice and sit in the sun, and I could literally just feel like the light kind of entering my body. Like celery juice is just such a fantastic food, and it's so inexpensive and so easy to do, and so I think a lot of people just kind of overlook it because they think it's not going to be that effective because it's just celery juice. But it seriously, like, it was the first thing that I implemented, and it really, really did impact the way that I digest food and just overall like my energy levels. It was pretty amazing. So here I'm like, Katerina's starting to like have some pizzazz paired with my dressing your truth stuff. Like I was like starting to feel like a person again. It was really cool. I was dealing with some outbreaks and stuff, but that's been part of my journey as I've been clearing the streptococcus bacteria out of my system. I've been really dealing with Epstein-Barr virus and the streptococcus bacteria. They've been the main things that have been giving me problems. You can see just my physique is starting to shift a little bit. My face is looking less like round. It's looking a little bit more trim. Just overall, I'm just starting to feel better. And oh my gosh, guys, this is caramel. It's not actual caramel, but it's date caramel. And you just like put some water with some dates in a blender and blend it all up, and then you get like this puree of dates which tastes like caramel, and it's amazing, and it's like a whole food, so totally delicious and totally worth trying. And I had started venturing into the realm of like actually like making some more kind of interesting stuff. So this was like a peanut butter chocolate raspberry cheesecake thing made out of cashew cream. And I think people have heard me talk about cashew cream a bit before, but basically if you blend up raw cashews and a little bit of lemon juice and some salt, you get like cashew sour cream. But then you can actually go beyond and turn it into like, cheesecakes and actual like cheeses and stuff like that. So eating plant-based doesn't have to be boring. It can actually be really interesting. So I was feeling well enough to try that. And this is with the cashew cheese. This is actually like a mac and cheese dish I made with brown rice noodles, I think at this time. Those were brown rice noodles. No, these were chickpea noodles, chickpea pasta, and broccoli and cashew cheese and stuff. And Paul loved it and I loved it. It was really yummy. And so you can see I took this picture to kind of just show like these are size 10 pants. So I guess in those first 2 days or 2 months, I had dropped what? 1, 2, 3 pant sizes. And it's because these ones were size 10 and the other ones were like size 16. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, my body was starting to reduce the inflammation and the water retention and stuff like that had been happening. And just in general, just taking on like more vibrancy, which was really cool. And I was actually even able to go out at the end of the second month and go to the art museum, which was something like I had really wanted to do. And so I actually got to like have a night out with my friends and like go see art. And so this was Henri Matisse, and he's been a favorite painter of mine for a lot of years. And this is so cool. This was a really good night for me. It was a real mark in my progress to just kind of have that experience and to not feel like this girl. I'm going to keep like flipping back because it's just like good to remember that that's the transition that's happened. Oop, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. So this was before we moved to Maui. We were in Honolulu. And so I was actually well enough to like be up and out and about and kind of like getting it together while I was preparing for a move, which was really good because, you know, we had stuff we needed to take care of and to do. And like, we needed to take the car to the shipping yard and just pack up our stuff and, you know, get rid of stuff. And just in general, like it needed me to be able to be vibrant and healthy. So yeah, this was a raw pizza thingy that I had made, which was like with like this flax seed, multi-seed crust, which was actually really yummy, with like this raw marinara and cashew cheese and these veggies that I had toasted.
I'm eating cashews right now.
Nice. Cashews are so versatile. So yeah, this is me like getting shit done, packing boxes, like cleaning stuff up and just like handling like a boss.
Well, I need you to pause for a second because I just want to make note that Richard Hamilton, aka GeneralTate, has joined us. So we you know, the gang's all here. Basically, we got
gang's all here to celebrate.
We got the main four.
Awesome. All right, Rich. This is a review of the progress. You can see.
I'm gonna get my volume under control here.
Just a quick.
It's driving me up the wall.
I can barely hear you, Rich. What's up?
Hey, Rich, don't you want to kiss that?
You guys can't hear me. You guys hear me?
Oh, we can
hear you.
We can hear you. It's just low.
Can you hear me and see me, Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, your voice is getting better. Whatever you're doing to improve the connection, keep doing it.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3. I hear you.
No, I want you to see if you can. I want you to be able to say that you can hear me.
We can hear you.
I'm just.
Yeah, you're getting
that.
louder. We've been able to hear you from the beginning. It was just really soft. You just need to get louder. But yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to get it louder. That's the thing. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
and
adjust the mic
you are succeeding. You're going up little notch. You are succeeding in your effort.
Rich, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Fine.
I'm asking you questions, as in like, can you see my screen and stuff? I was making a joke, being like, "Oh, don't you want to kiss that?" Yeah. So anyway, I'm giving you a recap to be like, oh yeah, this is my progress up to the point where I was talking.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were just covering all of these photos and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you are on my timeline video right now. We are up to the point before we moved to Maui when we were still in Honolulu. October. And so, yeah, I was moving here at this point and packing stuff up and just able to like kind of move and do stuff, which was really cool. And I was still eating a lot of like fruits and veggies. This is the night that we had landed in Maui, and I went to this restaurant, Maka by Mana, and like got some really yummy food to nourish me. I was hanging out in my new pad over here with all the jungle.
That was the original house, yeah.
It was the house that we rented for like 2 months while we were kind of getting our bearings here in Maui.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And then it was pretty amazing for me to just see like how much energy I had still, like even after moving and stuff, that I was able to like actually like go out and do stuff in the world. Just eating my fruit bowls. I love this quote. Be messy and complicated and afraid to and show up anyways. Yep, me too. was able to like go around with Paul and like go see some waterfalls and cool stuff, do the road to Hana, which was like kind of a trek for people in regular health, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at this point, it's funny because Rich is the only one like giving me commentary or listening noises, and like everybody else is quiet.
Well, I mute to make sure that the video display doesn't go all epileptic while you're trying to give your presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
should
right.
probably do the same.
Okay. All right. Well, if you guys have anything to say, just like let me know.
Text, no weaponized autism on this hangout. Sorry.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I'm here. This is me in Maui when we briefly, like after we got here, and you know, we were dealing with like life stuff and Paul finding a new job and stuff, but still I was like able to like feel like I could handle it. And that was really big for me because, you know, just even being out and about was like really hard previously. And, you know, I always felt like I needed to like have food around, or like I couldn't leave the house because I would have issues like feeling like I needed to pee all the time. It was really uncomfortable. So yeah, like it was pretty cool that I was able to just be out and like enjoying myself. So here's some butternut squash soup with cashew cream, which is freaking delicious. One of my favorite soups for the fall. Me, the vibrancy kind of coming back to me, which is nice. Hanging out, going to the beach. I started being able to like go on beach walks more around this time, which was really a big deal for me. I previously wasn't really able to do much walking because I would get a lot of pain in my feet when I would walk, and a lot of pain in my calves. And just in general, I would just get really stiff and sore if I did too much with my body because the virus was just like really inflaming my nerves. And that really changed a lot around this time because I was able to like be out for longer periods of time, which was like freedom. Able to hang out and like work on stuff at a cafe. It's like, wow, I feel like normal. Started being able to do more yoga kind of stuff, hanging out around the ocean more, being able to like go live, hang out in libraries and do stuff. Like previously it was like I was hanging out in my house. At the time I was reading this book, Women Who Run with the Wolves, and it was really helping me a lot with my soul and my spirit and everything, and just helping me to connect back to myself. Because the simultaneous journey happening with this physical transformation was like this spiritual soul thing happening, where a lot of my old trauma and my old pain from the past and my old like isolation and separation stories were starting to be really questioned. And like I was having to go through that stuff. Because something I've noticed is that when people carry extra weight or have illness...
I'll be right back. I need to use the bathroom.
Okay. Something I've noticed that when people carry extra weight or have illness is that they usually have some emotional baggage around it. And for me, like I had really big issues with trusting people and like letting people into my world because I'd been so hurt before. And I feel like I just kind of like isolated myself, and my illness was like a really convenient reason to isolate myself because, you know, I was like often thought of as like being like a flaky friend because my illness was just sort of like this constant that like was sort of unpredictable. But being able to like get better started to make me see like I still had like old shit that I needed to look at. Because I was still feeling like really disconnected from the world around me, and was still feeling the pain of stuff in the past. So yeah. But I started having more moments where it felt like I was connected with the world. So it would like really make me feel lit up and just like there was hope. It's really cool. I remember this day where I was like actually able to like jump rocks like across a river with Paul. And I was so excited by it because, you know, I was really afraid previously of like using my body like that because I was like, oh no, what if I hurt myself? We had hiked down this really tall mountain side and like gone down to the ocean level and been able to like walk over to the secret beach where like there was nobody and we had to cross the river to do it. So that was a win that day. This was probably about, this was 11th, so this is almost approaching the 4th month of doing medical medium stuff. And there I was with Paul after we did our hike. Me making these veggie rolls, like, you know, like Asian spring rolls, but like I just packed them full with veggies and dipped them in peanut sauce. It was really yummy. I'm starting to feel just like more joy. The wonder of life like started coming back. Celery juice. So much celery juice in my life. I love this picture because it's like so much green. Yeah, so one of the themes you'll see through my pictures is that there will be like some like good days and then some days where I'm like kind of looking a little more tired. That was like the kind of rhythm of the cleansing process. And I noticed that it would happen more often in the beginning where it would be like, you know, good day, kind of off day, good day, kind of off day. And then that period of time started spreading out. And then I was able to start having like more consecutive good days. And then I'd have like maybe like an off day or 2 off days. And then it would kind of clean itself up again and be back up on another level. It was interesting the way that worked. Some more of that like broccoli mac and cheese with the cashew cheese, which was really yummy. And I think these were brown rice noodles. Went and got my haircut and I was feeling all fabulous. I had got some new clothes and I was just kind of feeling like a new me, kind of starting to set in, my personality coming through again. It was really fun to like actually feel like I have enough like mental clarity to be able to like go to stores and like actually pick what I wanted and be able to like group myself the way I wanted to and all that kind of stuff that you kind of throw out the window when you're sick because you just don't have the energy for it. These were raw tacos with flatbread, this raw flatbread stuff, which is basically like dehydrated pulp. And it sounds kind of weird, but it actually was really good. And I made it with like walnut taco meat and that cashew sour cream. And they were really actually quite good. Tasted like tacos. Got our key to our new place. I was feeling so happy. Our little Ohana up here. This was a, what was this? This was a raw brownie. Actually, it was like a sort of German chocolate cake brownie type thing that we got at this place called Joy's. And, you know, there's so many places now than there used to be that actually like accommodate this kind of eating, which is really cool. So I was able to like seek out places like that. And as this was during the time we were moving from one place to another. And so we like got to have that as like a treat and whatever, and just do that. You know, another place, you know, this was like vegan gluten-free pizza that we ate and totally awesome. Helped me a lot and helped me deal with like pizza wantings.
Hawaii
Smoothies.
sounds like a health heaven.
It kind of is. It kind of is health heaven. There's a lot of people here who are really into this kind of stuff, and a lot of people here who are healthy as a result, which is cool.
Well, if it's available, why not take advantage of it?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
That's the beauty of living in the western states, whether it be Hawaii, Alaska, or any places on the West Coast. You have options,
Yeah,
culinary
totally.
options that generally aren't available in the Midwest or Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah, for sure. I think that places like Chicago, it's changing a lot though. Like some of the bigger cities, there's a much larger movement now towards people like having plant-based restaurants and stuff like that. I know there's some really good plant-based resources now in the Chicago area. Yeah, just more smoothies, more stuff like that, or eat. You could see like what I'm talking about. You know, there would be like these periodic flare-ups of like the virus, or this one is actually the strep issue that I was having, chronic strep infection, which caused these really awful cysts, which were really uncomfortable. Didn't post these pictures on Facebook because no thanks. I'll show you guys because you're my friends, and you know, the people who are watching this because it's in context. But yeah, here's, you know, like raw burgers and stuff like that. You know, this is like a gluten-free bun and like a vegan patty and, you know, vegan cheese or whatever. And again, like totally hits the spot, but also gives you a crap ton of nutrition. So it's not like I didn't eat anything that was like fun while I've been on this journey. Like, the only reason I've been able to like keep going with this is because like I have stuff that approximates the things that I would want to eat anyway, you know? So being able to like make it fun in the process has also helped so much. Just pictures of me kind of recovering from that like flare-up thingy that I had. I made this, this one was like a coconut, I think this one was like a lemon coconut kind of cheesecake thing. I didn't get the texture right, but it was still pretty good. So I was dealing with like my ups and downs, kind of flare-up stuff. But at the same time, you can still see like overall, like the trending is upwards. So which is kind of what gave me faith that it would be okay. Because like this was 2 days before this picture was taken, and I had just like gone on like this long walk and / run sprint thing, and like I was feeling full of energy. So you can see that like the cyclical nature of this journey has been that like just like going through periods and bouts of cleansing. Oh, I think Paul and I were like eating this snack. These Go Raw sprouted flax snacks are really awesome, and they actually even have them in places like Safeway and stuff. It's really cool to see more of this stuff becoming available in like mainstream stores and everything. This was like a cashew, like a garlic cashew dip that we had made, and dipped like these crackers in it, which was really yummy. So I'd started like feeling better, was able to like set up my art studio and start like getting to work on stuff, which is really awesome because that was a dream of mine. Because I wanted to be able to like do stuff again and to not just be so bound to not doing stuff.
Wiping my butt was so satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh man, I squashed out in Obama.
Oh boy.
Obama. You need to find some Hillary Clinton to go along with it.
Oh, I'm sure it exists.
So yes,
Needless to say,
cilantro. What's up, Dave?
I said, needless to say, I'm fat.
Okay. I'm sorry, like I can't like just like talk about cilantro now after you're talking about squishing poop out of your butt. Okay, composure, Katerina, composure.
Well, just think back to your enema experiences, and then you'll be fine.
I'm so happy I have not had to do a single enema to get the health that I have right now. Pretty radly happy about that. Anyway, so yeah, this is, again, cilantro. This was like $2 for like this whole big bag of cilantro at my local produce market, which was a freaking great deal. I was starting to feel confident enough to like actually wear like a bikini out in public, which was pretty crazy for me because I was like, ew, don't want to do that. Actually, no, I take that back. I still wore bikinis like back on Oahu, but I was just kind of like just kind of walking around and being like, all right, you know, this is my body and whatever. But like, I actually was feeling good in my bikini here, which was really cool. Vibrant and healthy and such. I really love baked potatoes and sour cream stuff, so I would make that a lot too. It's really yummy. A lot of people think that potatoes are not good for you, but that's actually really not true. They're so high in lysine and like other things that are actually really good for your body. And people think of it as like a white food, but it's not a white food. It's actually a brown food because, you know, look at the skin of it. People don't think, oh, apples are white foods because its flesh is white. It's a red food because it has red skin.
Of course. I mean, you know, they totally call it hash browns because it's, you know, so white. That racist.
Yep. This was our Christmas meal. I had like kind of gone all out and just made like this amazing like vegan stuffing stuff, and then drizzled it with like this sweet cashew cream, and I put the same sweet cashew cream on like apples and oranges and walnuts and stuff like that with honey, and Paul just like nommed it all up. It was so good. Of course, I love my food art. You can tell I've gotten like more creative as the time has gone on. I'm like figuring it out in the kitchen. This was like a produce haul that I did. You know, these, it kind of reminds me of like those produce haul pictures I would take in Costa Rica. Taking pictures, sitting out, drinking some thyme tea, feeling good.
Now, for the vegan stuffing, what exactly is involved in stuffing a vegan, and what method do you use to viscerate your victims?
Good one, Dave. Good one.
Yes. Bada boom.
Bada boom. Yes.
Checklist.
At this point, it's really funny. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people who would look at this and be like, that doesn't look that good. I mean, it looks pretty, but like they'd be like, oh, I don't know how that would taste. But like my taste buds had changed so much by this point that like I craved fruits and veggies. Like it's really interesting what happens when you start giving your body different fuel. So yeah, just sitting out there. This one was like a tomato bisque. Which was really yummy.
And John, you too can have an all-spark.
Yeah.
That was more to make Richard laugh than anything, but he's muted, so I don't know what he's doing over there. He's muted like a good boy.
Yeah. So like I said,
all autistic.
Like I said, this journey has not just been like a physical journey. It's also been like a seriously like emotional transformation journey. And like this was like a picture I took like after I cried, because like I was just like releasing tears about like trauma situations. And I think I had just had an experience where my older brother and sister didn't really want to be in my life anymore. Or it was my older sister that didn't want to be in my life anymore. And it's something that happens, you know, when you start changing on the inside, from the inside out. Like some people are just not going to want to be in your world anymore because you guys just aren't compatible, or you guys see the world differently, and therefore it's like a clash. And so I was dealing with the emotions of that, and it was really hard. This was a really yummy like sweet potato quinoa chili lime with like guac stuff, guacamole on top. It was really yummy. I had painted this piece of coral, started actually getting more creative. This was like the first painting that I had done in quite a few months, which was really cool because I actually had like the mental capacity to sit down and like paint and, you know, not get completely sidetracked with pain or whatever, which was really amazing. Yeah, more of me. Like my first art desk in like quite a few years. I had just been sort of painting at kitchen tables and on end tables and just in all sorts of different ways prior to that. You know, before I met Paul, before I went to Costa Rica and stuff. That was the last time I had like an actual art setup, which that was a really big deal for me. So this is like a really weird fruit that we have here in Hawaii. It's called jackfruit. And I don't know if any of you have tried it, but it kind of is like sour bubble gum. It's really interesting. But you kind of like pick the flesh out and just like eat it like parts at a time. More green juice. This creepy picture was associated with like some poetry I had written that night as I was on my walk. And if you're on the PSEC channel, you kind of probably know about like Stockholm syndrome and paradigm shifting out of like Stockholm syndrome and stuff like that. But I had realized that like
have you heard that Kim Jong-un is writing new book 101 Ways to Walk Your Dog? W-O-K.
Well, the thing is I was kind of moving through some of the Stockholm syndrome that I had with my older sister, who I dealt with feelings of being like her victim in a lot of instances, and like having her just kind of cut me out of her life was really freeing, but also really screwed with my head a lot, because like I there was so much unacknowledged hurt that I had over the years that was just like starting to come up, and I was just like really moving through it with poetry and stuff, and just feeling like my own person again, not feeling so like controlled by this person who had such power to influence my emotions and my thoughts, because, you know, I wanted their approval so badly in the years prior. So yeah, that was the night after the grieving and the sad poetry. My heart started recovering and started kind of coming back to life after that. But there were still waves, you know, waves of it. Waves, like I'm telling you, waves of tearing and crying, letting go.
And thanks to you, normally on PSEC Hangouts, I've got something to drink. I've got my Sherlock Holmes Little Smoky here. And now I have all sorts of vegan snackables. At any given time, I'll have cashews around, or sunflower seeds, or pumpkin seeds, or, you know, all kinds of different stuff that's, you know, perfectly healthy. I mean, most people on Hangouts like this, if they were going to snack, you know, what would they snack with? You know, the stuff in a
Doritos and popcorn.
Hostess cupcakes down their throat and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But healthy stuff actually tastes good. I mean, as far as like how things taste, I am somewhat picky. So it's like, you know, for someone like me to find, you know, vegan things that actually taste good. And no, I'm not vegan. I'm a meat eater. I've just kind of shifted the ratio around. That's what a lot of people don't understand. There's no obligation to go full vegan if you don't want to. It's like I basically do the...
Yeah,
you know,
I only did it because I wanted to.
Yeah, the fruits, veggies, nuts, etc. Like, you know, that's like, you know, 75% or more of, you know, what I eat. And then the remaining percents, yeah, I still allow myself to, you know, have pizza with sausage and pepperoni, and have chicken and turkey and whatever else, you know. I mean, and I think that's very important, because when people try to do all or nothing, you know, like they deny themselves the things that they normally like eating, then they really start to resent, you know, the new food, because they feel like they're keeping themselves back from something they like, and they are keeping themselves back. It's supposed to just be a reconfiguration of your eating, not a abandoning of anything. It's not like, oh my God, shun the pizza. No, no, like still eat the things you've always eaten that you like. Just, put that on a minimum, and have those other things, with the veggies and stuff, like fine fruits, veggies, nuts, whatever that you like eating, and fucking have a nice little chunk of that turkey or that steak or that pork chop or that hamburger or whatever. Put that shit on there. Just make sure it's only like 25% of your plate, but put it on there. Don't deny it to yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to move into more of a forward motion of craving the plant stuff more. You're going to kind of feel really resentful, and it's going to feel like this nasty chore, and you're just going to go, fuck it, I'm going to go back to the way I was.
Yeah, you're going to go back to eating like hot dogs and ho-hos. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah,
so,
just like
the first.
Sorry, I just want to say I'm at my all-time lowest on smoking tobacco. Like I used to smoke like a pouch of it, like, every week or two, and like, not in the not too distant past. Now, like, one pouch is lasting me like a month or more. And the secret for me was to allow myself to enjoy smoking and not hate myself for it. I mean, of course, I also smoke natural tobacco. Don't smoke the chemical mainstream stuff, because that's nasty no matter which way you toss it. But, in giving myself permission to enjoy it instead of frustrated, like, oh my God, I'm still smoking. That's what allowed me to continue to reduce.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. And even for me, like the first little while of this, like I didn't go vegan entirely like right away. I still like had moments where I would like want meat or whatever, want cheese. But for me, like, because I had a chronic illness, like if I had cheese, like I would pay for it, like in terms of my body having severe symptoms. So it was much easier for me to like cut that stuff out cold turkey, because like I just didn't want to deal with the pain. But for people who don't have that kind of a deterrent, like definitely start slow and make it a natural transition if you are wanting to go more in a plant-based direction. Like
I have a question.
Don't force it. What's up?
Is there a type of vegan cheese that uses nut-based milk instead of dairy-based milk?
Of course. There's almond cheeses. There's cashew cheeses. There's macadamia nut cheeses. There's all kinds of cheeses. Yeah.
So like you could make cheddar, Swiss, whatever, anything you want. It's just instead of using regular.
Yeah. And they even sell that stuff prepackaged at the store too.
I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I've been
Well,
eating.
It depends on what store you go to.
I mean, I've been eating organic cheese. They have that at the store now. They didn't used to, and I can definitely taste and feel the difference. It doesn't feel like
Go take a gander at a health food store in your area, and I know that Chicago has things like Whole Foods and stuff like that. Like, don't be intimidated by it, but just like go in there and go look at the dairy section, and you'll see that they have that stuff.
Place though, and I haven't even heard of that in my area or anywhere even close to my area. GNCs are everywhere, but GNCs don't have, I mean, they have a lot, but they don't have nearly as much as they should. They have more the mainstream trend.
Well, you can also order it online.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon is buying out Whole Foods. Like, you're going to be able to like get your fill of health food from the internet, I'm sure, very shortly.
Holy shit, the globalists are going non-GMO. They must be really desperate. Fuck, man.
Anyways, do you have anything else you need to say, or can I keep going?
No, you can keep going. I just had the milk question. Oh, Richard has a question.
What's up?
Oh, I just wanted to add, I noticed a commercial the other day. I remember about a year and a half ago, Alex Jones did this big expose on Centrum, the Centrum line of vitamins and all of that stuff and supplements. And he busted the fact that they use GMOs and various other holes inside their vitamins. And I just saw a commercial the other day on mainstream Fox News. Centrum Silver now GMO and gluten free. So I mean, even the big mainstream manufacturers are starting to go there because people are voting with their dollars, and people are starting to.
Just like Tropicana went non-GMO for the most part. I mean, they still have natural they still have that natural flavors TM bullshit in there, which is still a slight Mickey being slipped in, but the majority of the nasty stuff that was in there is not in there anymore because people stopped buying it. It's like, well, screw that.
From concentrate. If you want the true non-GMO Tropicana, you got to get Tropicana Pure, 100% pure orange juice, because that stuff's non-GMO verified.
I've got the bottles that say 100% pure juice, and even though on the back it says concentrate, it says in parentheses to clarify that what it means is it's made from 100% pure orange juice with no additive shit. The only additives is the natural flavors TM with a little asterisk, but other than that, there's none of the usual garbage.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Feel free to proceed, Katerina.
Okay, I was just waiting for you guys to be done. All right. So where was I? Yeah, this book came across my desk because I was looking at it, dealing with narcissistic relationships and stuff, and dealing with disentangling from Francisca and I used her name. Dealing with disentangling from my older sister, and just in general, that dynamic had not been a very good one for me, and it had repeated itself in a lot of different other relationships in my life, and I just was really determined to want to address that stuff. And so that book was really helpful at getting some insight into that, and I started feeling a lot more free to be myself and everything after that point. And actually, even I think around this point, I don't remember when it was, but I actually connected with this really awesome church called The Awakening, and the group of people really just embraced me after I was having these kinds of experiences, of just my heart falling apart and just feeling so broken. And that's something that Stockholm Syndrome can really do, is your whole sense of self can be so wrapped up in somebody else's approval or disapproval of you, and it can be really hard to just feel you're okay with who you are and that God loves you, and that you're not the fuck up that they think you are.
This reminds me of something.
What?
When you were starting to embark on your positive experience with the not so typical Christian church that you're going to, and I mean that in a good context, not a bad context.
Oh yeah, my church is awesome. I freaking love them. I've been going there since January.
The funny irony is that those who shall not be named, but everyone here will in this circle know exactly who I'm talking about. This person flipped out on both me and Katerina. Oh my God, churches are indoctrination. They're gonna brainwash her. It's so terrible. Yeah.
Well, I think my brain really needed washing, because the brainwashing I've gotten has been really positive and good for me.
Yeah, but I mean, she was just kind of flipping out and going batshit on both of us in private. I'm not gonna say who this person was, and we were just very calmly, doing our best to explain, and she just wouldn't have it. And then she got mad at something my dad had said, which was not even any big deal. and was saying, oh, that was racist, that was racist. Well, it's like, no, it wasn't. I've got worse on my frickin' DeviantArt profile. Like, what are you talking about? And eventually this person ended up, unfriending both of us, but while still continuing to message both of us about this stuff. And it's just like,
oh boy,
cuckoo.
Yeah.
We all remember who I'm talking about.
Of course. Oh yes, and I remember this day when I finally was like able to climb a tree by myself, and that was great. Like I was actually like a good 10, 15 feet up in the air in this photo.
And remember, kids, never climb trees without the assistance of a psychologist lawyer.
Yeah. I love all these pictures I took that are just like real honest photos of like how I was feeling that day. They're so helpful at like helping me remember like my ups and downs.
For everybody else speaking, that was an inside joke, by the way. If you look on the PSEC channel for the videos where we had Vinny Eastwood and Katerina on, at the same time, it was me and Katerina, and Vinny Eastwood and Max Egan, although he like got synchronistically bumped out.
All right, Dave.
Katerina
I would
was
really like to get back on track because I want to just finish this and then we can have conversation. Okay. That would feel good to me.
Okay, I was just kind of bringing up a fond memory because you reminded me.
I see. Okay, so yes, continuing on here, I had started going to this church and everything, and like my spiritual health was just starting to like really take an uptick, and I was not feeling so much like a piece of crap like my sister had kind of caused me to feel, but just remembering who I was. So yeah. Taking walks to the beach and everything, and I was still dealing with some outbreaks and stuff, and but just in general, things were looking up for me. My heart was starting to soften, and I was starting to like let go of a lot of that pain that I was having. And you can tell like it kind of goes through its process, right?
Angel Eyes makes a comeback.
Yep. So this is around January that year. This is actually what I started looking like in a swimsuit. Like my body was starting to change shape again. And I had been doing a lot more like physical activity and stuff. And I was just feeling like a lot stronger and healthier. Painting more. Going on longer walks now at this point, which was cool. This is what my fridge looked like at that time. It's filled with fruits and veggies. And remember, like, this is just between Paul and I, so I've seen people who have their fridges stocked, like, way more, but, like, I really, like, eat to my fill, like, every day. And I'm like, maybe I should eat more food, but, like, then I would feel like I was going to puke because I would be eating so much food. So it's funny. The right amount of plant-based food is what your body says is right for you. Yeah, just feeling hopeful. Took this side-by-side photo just to kind of show people about my progress. This was back in June, I think, the year prior, and then side-by-side with me in January. That's a lot of a change in 6 months. I think that was 6 months. No, it was almost, maybe like 5. This was some yummy food from Joy's, a kale salad with cashews and all that sort of yummy stuff. Starting to feel a bit more vibrant. Got some plants in my life. Yeah. I had rice roll-ups with some raspberry dipping sauce. These periods of my life, like I look at them and I'm like, I kind of remember what was going on. Like I remember this is actually like when Paul and I were like starting to get kind of concerned about our finances. Paul had taken a job at an art gallery and was working on commission sales when we got here to Maui. And it didn't actually end up being like a really good opportunity for him. And that was like a a zit that had popped and I was crying. I love being like this honest and real with you guys because like, yeah, this is like some of the behind the scenes of my life.
And seeing as you just got through doing a side-by-side thing, I'm speaking to yet again pop up a different side-by-side thing. 2012 Katerina and 2017 Katerina. Look at the difference. That's what eating healthy can do for you.
Well, eating healthy and facing your shit. You know?
Yep.
Yeah, because in between, I've had moments like this where I'm crying and losing my shit and having weepy pimples and all that kind of fun stuff. Feeling like the world is falling apart because I'm, like, don't know how we're going to make ends meet and stuff. But at the same time, still managing to, like, eat well, which is weird because, like, no matter what my finances have been this past year, and they've been, like, all over, just as I've been, like, healing and stuff, like a lot of stuff has been shifting around for me, but I've always been able to eat this way. Like it's never been like a financial thing that I had to like make the choice. Like never was I like, oh well, I just need to eat off the dollar menu or whatever. Like no, fruits and veggies all the way, man. Because I think that's been like the real thing that's been able to kind of get me through it, is just being able to have that health. So yeah, produce haul. You know, this is what I started looking like in a swimsuit around February. I was able to, like, you know, feel comfortable enough to just do this stuff in the park. Which previously I did not feel comfortable doing that. We had just gotten word that we needed to leave our Ohana because Paul's job fell through and we were, like, really falling on hard times at this point. And yeah, but still, grace kind of got me through it. And, you know, I started like really holding closer to God and to developing my relationship with Jesus. And it felt like my world was falling apart, but still at the same time, I knew I was okay. And right before we had to leave, like I got sick, like with a cold, which was weird. That was like my first cold in like a long time. But I know that was kind of stress related too. But hey, like a 4-day thing, because on a couple days later I was like feeling well enough to like go around and like talk to this guy who was like in his 90s, and he put a smile on my face and helped me feel like better about the prospect of like having to find a new place to live. And then a house came through and we were able to rent somebody's room over here in a different part of the town I was in, and you know, it all fell into place, and it was really amazing just because like it was more than we were expecting. We were thinking we were gonna have to like live in a tent on the beach. Like it was really bad. Like we were like, the fear that had come up and just like the emotions. But like this physical healing journey has also caused me to have a lot more trust in God, because like I've now been seeing like, oh, well, like I can trust that my body can heal now, because previously I didn't believe that my body could heal because I thought my body was attacking itself. I thought my body was just like messed up and dysfunctional and like couldn't do what I needed it to do. But instead I was like, no, like things can work out for me, things can be good for me, and it doesn't have to suck so bad, you know? So even though I went through a rough situation there, like I still landed here, and it was nice. So here we are, like going to beaches and swimming and stuff, and my foxy self started emerging more, and like, yeah. See my shape starting to come out more. And mind you, like this whole process, like as I start showing you pictures of me as like I'm getting thinner and stuff, like this has been the tricky part for me to talk about, because like the last thing I want to do is like make people think that like I started this all because like I wanted to lose weight. that's really not why I started this. Like, I started this because I felt like I was dying, and like if I didn't do something else different, then I was gonna die. Like, it felt like either that or I was gonna kill myself. Like, so like I know that it can be challenging for people to like change their diet so that they can lose weight, but I feel like because I had a bigger reason than that, like it really catapulted me to do it. But also, like, I wanted to feel good in my body. Like, I wanted to feel capable and strong and just all of those other things. And that just so happens to me in that, like, my body took a smaller shape. So anyway, yes. So yeah, you can see smaller shape starting to happen. But still, like, having, you know, flare-ups and breakouts and stuff. I was just kind of dealing with those as they would come up. But yes, angel eyes starting to come out. More technicolor and full of life. I was having more fun with, like, fashion and stuff, and it was really enjoyable. And this was right before I took a job at the natural health food store. I wanted to just kind of gauge like how much better I was getting based on like what progress I was seeing in myself. And I took a part-time job working for a health food store so I could kind of understand like my own capacity. Things like walking around and stuff like that had been so difficult for me before. And so, you know, standing in one place for a while, like, you know, doing cashiering stuff was something that I was like, oh, I couldn't do that. But taking this job showed me that I really could. So days. So it's funny how there's like days like this, like and they're all so close together, like 2 days apart.
And just a quick trailer here. After Katerina is done explaining her stuff, I'm also going to give you a quick tour through my own weight loss with some on-screen stuff and whatever. And even though I had started my weight loss stuff prior to even knowing Katerina, Katerina's own, you know, health stuff and everything that she has shared with me has escalated my own progress.
Awesome. It's really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that, Dave.
Absolutely. But for now, I'll shut up and let you finish.
Yeah, I'm almost done. So, yeah, this is me, like, you know, before work, just like taking time to doodle and draw, which is something that like I kind of let go because, you know, it was, again, kind of just not something that I like often did anymore when I was really sick. And this process of healing has really helped me remember the things that I really enjoyed doing, like, you know, things like fashion and makeup and drawing and art and music and all sorts of things. Like, so it's really given me my life back because my life had just been so empty and felt so vacant because of illness. Able to sit there and listen to music and think things that I loved to do when I was like a teenager with all my different fashion style stuff, which I adore fashion. Not popular fashion. I adore my fashion, my style. And then I started working on this women's wisdom deck cards, and I actually felt comfortable and confident enough to like undertake that project and like start working on a series of paintings, which is something that I had been wanting to do for a while, but like really just didn't have the belief that I could do it. So this was like a real like big deal for me to kind of start working on a project and feeling like, oh yeah, I can undertake that project.
Katerina really does know her shit when it comes to fashion, and I mean that in the sense of having the knowledge and discernment to know what does and doesn't look good on somebody. Let me tell you, Katerina personally helped me clean my closet, like no joke.
have an eye for these things, right?
So on a total other hangout, not this one, but at some point in the future, maybe we should do an episode on that, as you know, because you gave me the in-depth, you know, detailed run of exactly why, what does and doesn't, and etc. And you went into all the technical stuff about it, and I think that would be cool to like share on a future PSEC episode. Not this one, but you know, some point in the future.
For sure. This, like, that's all like cashew dressing stuff. Like, I made like this giant like chicken salad thing that wasn't chicken. It was like a chickpea chicken salad, but it tasted like chicken salad. It was really awesome. Here's Easter. Paul was the Easter bunny at church that day. Freaking love my church. We're so silly there. Just taking pictures of me here. I had actually like been able to, I have this painting called Ecstasy, and for a long time it had been my dream to like actually have like reproductions of it made, so that when people bought it, like it would be like the same size and everything, and people would be able to have it in their home. So now this was a picture of that dream coming to pass. Like, this was at the scanners, and they were like taking this picture. They were getting a high quality scan of this done so that I could be able to print it and to make it and to be able to sell it for people to have in their home. So more pictures of me coming out there and
hey, Katerina,
rocking it. What?
Obviously, not right this second, but later on, that directory of pictures that your slide showing here, if you would like, if you were to like zip those up and send them to me, I can actually make like a full quality, like, you know, video slideshow production thing and toss that up as another PSEC episode and put in whatever links and information, you know, that you want in there to direct people to, and this, that, and the other. So something for the future, but just letting you know I'm willing to do it.
Cool. I would really like to do it with some sort of like, you know, like the stuff that I've been saying in this video is kind of the stuff that I want to speak over and talk about with those pictures. You know, so like I know that you and I have been having kind of conversations and talking about like silly butt jokes and stuff like that, but like I would really love to just like have a video done without those kinds of things, and just so it's like something that people can just watch it through and just be able to just like hear my story about it.
Well, if you want, like, make a copy of that folder, rename the images to go in according to the order you want them to roll through in, and then.
Well, they're all ordered in the order that I want them in, because they're all chronological.
Okay, and then what you do is any audio that you want to go along with it, you make an MP3 file of the same file name as the picture, so that I know which audio file you want to go with each picture, and ta-da!
Oh, cool.
But yes, moving on.
Moving on. So yeah, photos like this where I'm like sitting there drinking smoothies. I was like outside of work at this point, you know, so I had just like been on my feet for a couple of hours and was powering up with a smoothie and just like being able to like do stuff. But, you know, still here and there would get kind of like these random breakouts and stuff because I was cleansing. The thing with the Epstein-Barr virus is that it can actually be reduced, and the flare-ups of them can be reduced significantly just really quickly. But things like strep, which cause the acne and all that, all these flare-ups and breakouts, like that process can take a bit longer to get that under control with the protocol I've been doing. But anyway, back to the art. These were more of the pictures that I had been working on. And feeling vibrant and happy. I love my zebra top that I found. It was super, super cute. Yeah, and this was like a freaking badass pizza that I made. So this was like barbecue Parmesan garlic chicken pizza that I made. And it wasn't even chicken. That's like chickpea tofu and gluten-free crust and like this homemade barbecue sauce I made, plus like dried cashew cheese stuff on it, and like red peppers and onions and stuff, which was pretty epic. And I took this to a party that I was having, like a church gathering of friends and stuff. We were up in the mountains and everything, and people were like eating their pizzas, and like I had my pizza alongside it, and nobody even could tell that like my pizza was different until they actually like looked at it, which is pretty funny. So again, to show people that like this isn't super boring food, you can actually make really yummy food, but it's totally plant-based and totally yummy.
Yeah, and
I mean, Dave, doesn't that look like something you would want to eat?
totally, which leads me into exactly what I told you before, that I was going to say on this hangout once we got to this point, and we are to this point. I personally think that over time, I don't know if it's going to take 20 years, 100 years, what it's going to take, but over time, I think the planet is basically going to be turning more and more and more vegan, and it's ironically the meat eaters that are going to do it, because a lot of people most of the people that are becoming vegans didn't live that way all their life. They were formerly meat eaters and all that. So obviously they still craved all the meat stuff that they still ate. But obviously, when we like a meat product, do we like it because it's meat? Is it like, oh yeah, there's got to be that pig there,
Dead animals,
because I need me a piece of Hillary? No, it's not that. It's about the taste and the texture and and all that. So there's been this like vegan like friendly competition to see who can make better and better and better and better recipes to emulate things to get it as close to perfect as possible. And in some cases, it's more rare at this point, but every once in a while they even get better than perfect, as far as like what we're used to, what we think is good, and what it's supposed to taste like. I've had like, just for example of like, like the organic cheese versus the fucking processed bullshit. Like I could taste and feel and all of that, the difference. It was better. And so the idea of eating regular cheese after that, yeah, I could do it, but is it what I want to run towards first? No, it's what I'll have desperately if there's no other cheese around. But if I've got a choice in the matter, I'm going to go with the organic cheese. So it's the same thing with this stuff, these vegan meals and everything. The more they come close to the commercial products that we're used to, well, do we really give a shit whether or not there's meat in it? I mean, come on, meat eaters, fellow meat eaters. Do we really care that it's meat? Is that like the actual key? No. We like how it feels, we like how it tastes, and we like what we're fucking used to, and we want to keep having what we're used to because it tastes good. So if we can match it equally good or better, then we're happy, whether there's meat in it or not. And so, obviously, like the custom vegan meals and 3D printers are the Model Ts of the Star Trek level, replicators. And for those people who aren't Star Trek fans, the whole premise in there is that replicators turn energy directly into matter, and because of that process, the matter can be reconfigured so that, like, even if you're replicating like a sickeningly sweet tasting chocolate ice cream, it's got like the nutritional value of a fucking salad. So it's like, right now here's the Model T of that Star Trek future.
Yeah. And the thing is like it was just so like nutritionally dense that like, after one or two pieces you're just like full. And I actually had made some like brownie balls, like these like chocolate like cookie dough ball thingies. They weren't like real cookie dough, but it was like cookie dough, like it was like raw cookie dough bites basically, but not cookie dough. It was like mock cookie dough.
Yeah, I
cookie
had
dough.
that experience a little bit ago today. I made myself a nice, wonderful, awesome salad to eat. And I was like, what the fuck? Because it was taking me several hours to finish it. Because like I'd eat just, a few spoonfuls and then my body just be like, no, I'm good for now. And I'd be like, no, but it tastes good. I still want to eat. So I take another bite. My body's like, bitch, I said good for now. Do that again and your stomach's going to start hurting. And I'm like,
yeah.
What? So yeah, it's like when you let your body communicate like that, it's like your body will tell you, give me nutrition, bitch, or that's enough, good for now, don't eat more, or I'm going to cause you pain.
Basically. So yeah, just pictures of me starting to write again, just kind of like connecting back to my creativity. So much easier to do when you feel well. This was like a really yummy, I think this was like a butternut squash pasta sauce thing that I had made, which was really good. I think I bought this one. This pasta sauce was bought, but still very yummy.
Are the shell noodles pre-made or did you make those?
Those are pre-made.
Pre-made out of what?
Chickpeas.
Ah, interesting.
Chickpeas, so they were gluten-free.
Nice.
This is a gluten-free, dairy-free dish.
Interesting.
And you can get these pasta shells at Target or anywhere that they sell Banza pasta shell noodles, but I find mine at Target.
I'm so proud of you for doing this hangout because it's like I've been wanting you to do this for so long.
Thank you. Beautiful sunset photo here.
And thank you for letting Paradigm Shift and Educational Comedy be the YouTube channel to debut it. So I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, so throughout all of this, my car died, got towed, and so Paul and I have been like dealing with like a lot of life stuff too while we've been, on our own simultaneous health journeys. Paul, he stepped up into this management position, managing this new Fudge Galleria shop over here. And this very same day that he got transitioned into this position, that's when our car died, ironically enough. So, just that little bit of misery crack. But, we've been rolling with the punches, and it's actually been like really amazing what's happened since then, and just in terms of like how resilient and healthy I feel since, because I've been having to walk a hell of a lot more not having a car. And it's actually caused me to just feel like a lot stronger and more muscular and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, but that's getting ahead of myself. This at the health food store that I worked at, oh my gosh, this is their acai bowl. And so they have like acai and acai berry and pitaya, which is dragon fruit. So like a blend of like, you remember that one nice cream that I showed you? This is basically like very nice cream with bananas and papaya and pineapple, like drizzled with like a ton of raw honey, and then with gluten-free granola and coconut. So it is freaking decadent. It is like ice cream on steroids. It's delicious.
And just to let people know, because I already know this, if you have a machine for making actual ice cream, you can substitute the nasty stuff that normally goes in with vegan equivalents, and plus or minus a few minor adjustments, trial and error and experimentation, you should be able to get the gluten-free vegan equivalent of real ice cream. Just for sugar, use use brown sugar instead of the processed sugar. And for milk, obviously, you can try coconut milk, almond milk.
You can actually just buy like cashew milk ice cream or coconut milk ice cream at the store, or soy milk ice cream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was. I actually just had like a vegan gluten-free ice cream sandwich the other day from the store.
How did it taste relative?
Super good. I actually had it with Elena, and she is really new to all this stuff too, and she was just like, "Oh my gosh, that is good."
And this is a product of Whole Foods?
This wasn't at Whole Foods. This was at the Natural Health Food Store, and
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure they have it at Whole Foods. It's by the brand So Delicious, I'm pretty sure.
Well, if for any reason anybody doesn't have access to one of those stores, but does have access to an ice cream maker, there's your workaround.
Yeah, there's so many recipes for making all sorts of vegan ice creams that are really, really good. So, I mean, Google is your friend with this. Google is your friend with wanting to like incorporate more plant-based food in your life.
And if you add Katerina Roy on Pinterest, Pinterest is also your friend with this because she's got more recipes up there than you could throw a stick at. And what's your Pinterest? Pinterest.com/Katerina Roy or something else?
Yeah, Katerina Roy.
Okay.
Well, we can put the link with the video, Dave.
Yep. But just in case anybody wants to get at it right this second, they have the ability.
Can I move on?
Yes.
I'll take that as a yes. All right. So oftentimes, like what I'll do if I don't want to make like a full thing is like I'll just like eat fruit, just like straight up out of the fruit peel, and it's really fast. It's probably like the fastest food you could probably even think of because you just have to like buy it and get it, and it's really easy. It's like the same effort it takes to like unwrap a ho-ho, but instead you can unwrap an orange peel or a banana. It's really fast.
Or if you're a pimp, you can just unwrap a hoe.
Yeah. And this is a book that I was reading too that was really helpful at helping me deal with like my feelings of being left out and rejected and all that stuff, because that's been a really big issue that I've dealt with. Just feeling like I can't have community or I can't feel like connected to people, or like that feeling of isolation and loneliness. So yeah, I highly recommend this book for anybody that wants to like not deal with that stuff. So yeah, just a couple of days of like being without a car, and like I was like starting to walk a lot more, starting to feel like just a lot more strong and healthy. I climbed that tree with Paul that day, actually. I started noticing my skin was just glowing a lot more too, because I started like moving a lot more, having a lot more physical activity in my life. This picture, the Giclée reproduction print that I had sold, came to me that day, and I was able to get it so I could put the embellishments on it and get a frame on it and everything. And that was a really proud day for me. Me and my fashion sense kind of kicking up. Another side-by-side, just kind of showing like, where I was at, where I was, then and then. This was back in like, I think April or May of that year prior, and then this was May of this year. So I mean, like before, like I said, Dave, like I was, wearing the swimsuit, but I don't know if I was necessarily like rocking the swimsuit, just like I was just kind of there and like didn't give a shit. That was my attitude.
I hope that the pictures you have on Facebook of you and Elena and that other chick are also included in this slideshow, because that also presents, that whole, look, there's Katerina having fun and feeling good, and look at that.
Yeah.
When I saw those, I was like, oh my God, her self-esteem's going way up. Holy shit. Wow. Like fucking A. Katerina's going out and partying with the gal pals. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, which was definitely a new thing for me.
Katerina.
Yeah. Yep. So my friend Carrie Ann let me ride her bike and let me use her bike while my car was down. So I was like riding that around town. And, think back to a couple months ago, that would have been like not thinkable. Oh, this is a delicious, huge like rice wrap thing with like a bunch of like peanut sauce and stuff and veggies loaded up into it that I get from Joy's place. It's just so nice when there's places like that can actually like feed you good food. So it's like you can still go to a restaurant, but you know that they have good ingredients. So then here's me in swimsuit edition Katerina.
I've also been building muscle without even trying. I mean,
that's what happens when your body has nutrients to build with.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm a lazy ass who just, sits at my computer all day. As a matter of fact, I do a lot of work in my garden outside and, the stuff indoors as well. And for those who don't know about my Pondscape channel, when I say that, I'm not speaking of it in the terms that people would normally think of, like old grandma gardening in the front or something. Like when I say gardening, like I'm dealing with like massive garden stuff and ponds, and like I'm literally building and experimenting and prototyping with fucking, eco-friendly technology, doing my own little backyard invention kind of stuff. So, whipping out the fucking saw and the drill and actually like building shit and doing stuff and using lake liner and all that. So, I'm not doing pussy shit. I am getting, a workout, but at the same time, it's not like YMCA and I mean, I'm not going crazy or anything, but I do get exercise. I definitely do.
Yeah. So, yeah, I hear you, Dave. This photo here was taken, like I went to this event where I got to hang out with like a bunch of like women creatives at one of the hotels here in Maui, which was really cool. So I got to sit in like this awesome egg chair thing and like just hang out with people. And that was like a really big deal for me because like I had been so isolated previously that I didn't really want to like get out into the world and be with people, especially not like in a professional capacity because I felt like so insecure and stuff. So, yeah, that was starting to change. And I was like, wow, life. A veggie crudite platter with Asian dipping sauce that I made. I am almost done. Again, just like being able to like walk around and stuff and just be out more was definitely happening a lot more because of the car being dead. But I was also happy that the car was gone because then it gave me an opportunity to like actually get a lot more physical activity in. Me at Paul's new place and just like goofing off sitting in a box because that was like the only comfortable place to sit.
You didn't sleep there, did you?
No, I was just sitting there being goofy.
Okay, so you weren't in there long enough to get back pain or anything, because there was someone on DeviantArt that commented on that because I posted that up there on my DeviantArt, and I
sat there for maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, and their comment was like, back pain incoming, because the guy had actually slept in a box like that one time a long time ago, overnight.
In the past, this would have used to give me back pain. But it doesn't anymore. Like I'm able to do things that would make me previously like way more uncomfortable, but because my body doesn't have the levels of inflammation that it had before, I don't deal with that kind of stuff anymore.
After done with the presentation, it'd be cool for you to like, get on the bed and demonstrate your stretchiness like you were doing off cam, because like I swear to God, I tried doing some of those, you know, stretching maneuvers that you did, and I can't like get myself to fully, you know, go all the way that you went. I'm just like, Jesus, like how in the hell is she doing that? She's like you've heard of the plastic man. She's the plastic woman. Like this is something I think the audience has to see here. It's like in fucking incredible how flexible you are now. It's like you went from 2012 Katerina to like plastic woman. It's like, holy fucking shit. This is like,
yeah, well, that's because my ligaments and my limbs and just like when you have a lot of inflammation in your body, you're very stiff. And I dealt with a lot of stiffness, but when I was a kid, I used to be very limber and very stretchy and stuff too.
Yeah, but that's why I want you to show it, because like when
I can show.
I know it blew me away. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like, you know, the next thing I'd expect is for you to start like bouncing on a trampoline and doing double backflips and swinging from like trapezes and shit. It's like, geez.
Wow, well, you're really selling it hard there, Dave.
Well, I was amazed. And
That's
I
awesome.
know I'm not that flexible. I tried after that hangout and watching you. I'm like, how in the hell did you I tried. I can't do it. I tried.
Plant-based living, baby. That's how I did it. Okay.
Well, maybe that'll be in my future.
Well, you can look forward to it, because the more plant-based you get, the more your body's inflammation levels go down.
Cool.
Yeah. So, next photo, I was hanging out, going to go do some grocery shopping with one of my gal pals. That was really fun. She picked me up and we just had a really fun day, and she's just a really fun lady, so I was just feeling all like happy and excited to go see her. More pictures. I was looking up at the beautiful mango trees outside. I'm not like, it's obvious now that I'm just kind of like, these are like glamour shots, so I'm not like being super descriptive about it. It's just like, oh, look, me, I'm beautiful. Okay. So yeah, a picture of, you know, my body and the form it's in now-ish, because this was taken like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that whole goddess archetype is about feeling beautiful and powerful at the same time. It's not about having anybody bow down and kiss your ass or any sort of narcissistic power trip.
Yeah. So that's my pictures. So I'm gonna stop sharing my slideshow now, and I'm gonna come back and hang out with you guys.
Oh, cool. Well, I don't know where Kristen went.
Or Rich went.
I'm guessing that maybe Richard's laptop overheated or something, because he's using a loaner laptop.
It's all good.
Because his main computer's in the shop. But maneuvering my bottles of orange juice and shit. Anyway, so I'm guessing that you are probably going to be preparing for your presentation, you know, the other kind. And while you're preparing, I will do my presentation.
My presentation?
I'll do
my flexibility demonstration.
Yeah, you know, getting on the bed and being all flexible and shit. Sexy flex. And while you're preparing for that, I am going to present a little on-screen slideshow of my own here. Can you see that okay?
Uh-huh.
All right, well, this was me at almost 250 pounds. This is before I met Katerina, but 250 pounds. And even though there's a whole big, long story about how my weight loss started, excuse me. Sunflower seed. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole big long explanation, but I will say that I had to decide to stop beating up on myself for being overweight and get into a mindset of looking forward to losing weight, because when you're beating yourself up, you're totally paralyzed, and nothing you do is going to work. So I got 4 frames to show you. Technically 5. The 5th one is a surprise, and I think Katerina knows where I'm going with it. Okay, so here's the next one. I'm a bit thinner, and yes, this is back when I had more hair, which wasn't too terribly long ago. But hell, I started balding when I was a teenager. It started as a little spot the size of a dime on the top of my head, and just slowly started Captain Picarding out. So what can I say? But that was, you could see my hairline is pretty receded there. So it's like I'm almost to the point, that I'm at now. It's like, that it's the rabbits are marching backwards, receding hairline. And so there's me at some point later. And that shirt that I'm wearing is my 8th grade gym shirt, just to give you an idea of how much weight I had lost. And then there's me looking similar to now, although you can see I've still got some, a bit more bulk on me than I do now. But obviously there's a big difference between that and that. Yay. So now and I totally promised Katerina that I would demonstrate my own progress because she's demonstrating hers. So look at that. I mean, I'm not like the thinnest guy in the world or anything, but, from almost 250 pounds to where, like, it looked like I was, like, 6 months pregnant or more and shit, Like, when I finally had lost the weight, I was joking around with everybody. I'm like, hey, guys, I finally had the kid. And as you can see, I'm not perfectly thin. I mean, I've got a little bit of fat. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like a hell of a lot better than it was. Like, and like I was saying about my muscles and shit, look at that. I haven't been doing a lot of working out. I've just been eating healthier. My friend Richard Riley, he's built like a fucking tank, and he's like, believe it or not, I don't really work out or go to the gym or do anything. It's all just happened from eating healthy. And I'm like, whoa, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've been seeing that in myself too. I'm just like, I just feel like stronger and healthier than I have in a long time. So yeah, I'll show you my swimsuit edition. Woo! But yeah, oh wait, stretches. What stretches were you like tripped out about? Which ones were like weirding?
Like when you pulled your foot all the way back behind your head. Like, yeah, I cannot do that.
Yeah. You can unmute yourself.
Well, no, because nobody saw what you did because I was talking. I have to mute myself and you have to talk in order for your screen to show up.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So yeah, this was previously not very easy for me to do. And now I can actually like hold it without actually holding it. Yeah. So that's what eating well will do for you. You'll become like limber and your joints will have just like what they need in order to be able to function properly. You won't be so stiff and inflamed. And I'm like, I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Da 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 da. Yep, so that's my demonstration.
That is awesome.
Yep, I agree.
then I mean, and also like I'm even amazed with myself because like, you know, there's still a bunch of health problems and stuff that I haven't overcome yet, and I know eventually I will. But even with those still there, like I can't get over how my arms are transforming. Like, look at that. I'm like what the fuck? It's not like I've been working out at the Y or some shit. It's like, and my legs are starting to do the same thing, and just like, and I'm like, it's like, what in the fuck?
What are
But
you saying?
it's what nutrition.
You cut out.
I said that my, you know, my legs are doing the same thing and just, you know, building this muscle. And it's not like I've been working out at the YMCA or anything. So it's just like, what the fuck, you know, just increase nutrition is what's doing it. So because at first when my friend Richard Riley, and he has a YouTube channel as well, you can check him out at youtube.com/Pennywise Wellness. Penny, Penny, you know, Penny and Wise and Wellness, easy enough to spell, right? You people can get it. And so anyway, when he was first telling me that, oh, he didn't really work out or anything, and you know, he was just eating healthy. That's it, just healthy, and this is what your body does when you're eating healthy. It seemed like halfway unbelievable. Like I knew he wasn't lying. I mean, he had no reason to fucking lie to me. He's a friend of mine. I you know, I know him in person. I've seen him in person. I met him on TSU online, but he's local, so you know. But so I knew he had no reason to lie to me, but it was still just kind of like a total mind trip. And then it's like I see it happening to you, so like double the mind trip. And now I'm seeing it starting to happen to me, so like triple the mind trip. So I'm just like, what the fuck? I mean, it's a very positive what the fuck, but it's still a what the fuck.
Yeah, especially when you've like been told for a lot of your life that it has to be hard or like unpleasant. You know, like we kind of get this idea that being well or being healthy is like unpleasant or really hard to do or whatever. But it's not. It's really not that hard to do, and it's really not that unpleasant.
Yeah, totally.
In fact, it kind of just feels correct. It feels like the right thing to do for my body, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually just really enjoyed like the majority of the things I've eaten, and I've really enjoyed the majority of things I've done. And like even being more physically active, it's been the result of having more energy. It's not like I had to force myself to be active. It's like I wanted to be active, and therefore I like, because I had the energy to do it. It wasn't like I was trying to like force myself to do it when I had no energy to.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get trapped in this idea of thinking that they need to be really active and physical when they actually aren't even giving their body the right nutrition to produce that desire to be active and physical.
Oh yeah,
people
totally.
Just cut calories.
And then they've got and then they've got, you know, all this junk from like, you know, like when people eat a lot of wheat, like cows have 3 stomachs. They can process grass. We can't process it, and what happens is it turns into a paste that puts a thin line coating around the inside of the intestine. So even if you're eating a lot of healthy stuff, most of the nutrition is not able to get through because most of it's blocked by this coating. And the same with eating processed meat. Now, when I say processed meat, what I'm saying is that normal meat, like meat the way nature intended, is not going to fuck up your insides like that. It's because of this industrialized, chemicalized processing, how they do it, that it fucks over the meat. And on top of it, they abuse the shit out of the animals. So the animals are always having adrenaline pumping through their bloodstream, which gets into the tissue. So like the tissue is filled with adrenaline because these animals are abused and they die completely in fear. And it's a really nasty cocktail, and it makes the meat really yucky. because there's all this adrenaline and everything in there that's not supposed to be in there in the first place. Then through the processing of the meat, they add all this other bullshit and do all this other crazy stuff to it. So by the time it gets to us, it's nothing but a cocktail of problems. So I'm not trying to say meat is bad. If you can go get your meat straight from the source to where you can walk onto that farm and see that, you know, the chickens, the cows, etc., that they're not being fucking abused and fed chemicals and all this other bullshit, as long as you can see that, then that's going to be a source of meat that is not going to encrust your intestines, because it's not eating meat itself that does that. You know, it's the nasty shit that we do to the animals and the meat that turns the meat bad. And also things like, you know, fat, cholesterol, carbohydrates, etc. These things are also not inherently bad for us. As a matter of fact, cholesterol does a number of wonderful things in your body, and it's even fuel for your heart. And the problem is that the less nutrition is in your body, so the lower your body's nutrition, your body is very weak, which includes your veins and arteries. So the inside of the veins and arteries start getting sores on the inside of them because, you know, they're weak. So then what happens is the little bits of fat and cholesterol and things like that, they catch onto these sores. So imagine there's a vein or an artery or whatever, and there's a sore around here. So it starts collecting, and then it starts building and layering, kind of like a crusty old water pipe, you know, that you know, just whatever the hell builds up on there. I'm not 100% on the physics of water pipes, but I know that if a water pipe is not the way it should be, that it can get encrusted inside, and you know, it really messes things up. Well, your veins and arteries are like that. When you have weak veins and arteries and it's got those sores inside of them, the cholesterol and the fat and the toxins and the junk just encrust on there like a water pipe, and you either end up with a fucking stroke or a heart attack eventually. High blood pressure comes first, of course. So yeah, that's the main problem.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you know, with smoking, excuse me, with smoking, here's the big joke. Like, you know, I'm sure we've all seen the little footage clips from Congress, to where the heads of the representatives from the tobacco companies are there, and they're under oath, and they're asked, do you believe that tobacco causes cancer? And they're all saying under oath, nope, 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 nope. And everybody's thinking like, well, they're obviously fucking lying under oath, right? Well, actually, you know how I said we live in a society that confuses the difference between a symptom and a cause? Like, you know, we mistake, you know, the cough for the cold. Well, with the smoking equation, the effects of tobacco are more the cough than the cause of the cold itself. Because historically, I mean, up until you know, Japan became completely 21st century bullshit burgered, historically, Japanese people smoked 3 times more than Americans, and had like the lowest rates of like lung cancer and throat cancer and heart disease and all that on the planet. And other than the fact that, you know, they didn't add all kinds of toxic chemicals to their tobacco, other than that, just culturally, it was a part of the Japanese culture to eat really freaking healthy. And when your body's really freaking healthy, guess what it can do? It can kick out toxins, like Katerina was saying earlier. It gets rid of that shit. So with a fully healthy body, instead of all the tar building up in your lungs and all that crap, your body's actually capable of kicking it out, as the Japanese historically are proof of. So the funny thing is those guys weren't lying under oath. They were kind of giggling to themselves because they knew they were being asked a what's the marital status of the number 5 kind of question. So that's the joke of it. That's the joke, and they're sitting there, they're giggling, knowing that they're telling the truth, but they're also telling a lie of omission, because they're not admitting, in the cake, not light switch reality, where you have a configuration of ingredients coming together, they're not admitting that it's the configuration of the tobacco, the extra chemicals they add into the tobacco, plus people's bad fucking health, their bodies being so under nutrition, that those things coming together create the cake that we call heart disease and lung cancer and etc. and etc. So they're kind of snickering under their breath, like, we know it, but nobody else does. Keep making us rich, motherfuckers.
I see.
So nutrition is so fucking important, because your body is so much more powerful than you've been led to believe.
Yeah. It's a big part of being empowered, is like really allowing your body to get the nutrients it needs in order to function better, because not only are you going to function better, you're going to think better, and you're going to be able to make better choices for yourself in your life. But it really starts with that one choice, that personal choice of like, what are you putting in it? Because that's something that the elites can't do to you. That's nobody has any power over what you put in your mouth than you. Like, you're the only person that has that power.
Yeah, so, if a person decides to buy the GMO processed garbage while simultaneously the nutritional stuff is available at the same time and for around the same price, then that's the person's choice. That's not anything that Obama or Hillary or Kissinger or George Soros or anybody else has done to us. Because once we become aware that we have that choice, it's kind of like the whole definition of stupid. What's the definition of stupid? Knowing better but doing it anyways. Or as the other meme goes, knowing the difference between the truth and a lie and still believing the lie anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Stockholm syndrome, big time.
Yeah, totally. Well, Dave, that's all I've got for this edition of PSEC.
I also wanted to add that just like you were explaining about, Franziska, obviously emotional and mental health being a very, important part of this. Collectively, historically, en masse, we've kind of had a codependent, dysfunctional relationship with the 1% or the elites or whatever. It's not about fault and blame. It's just about recognizing that we've been in our Stockholm syndrome to where we're insisting that we need psychopathic babysitters to lord it over us. We're addicted to it. Like Katerina was saying, you got to work hard and suffer, otherwise it doesn't count for anything. And, the elites on their end are addicted, to having slaves. Like, all this regular, normal human stuff is beneath them, high society snobbery. So, both sides have been codependent on each other, because both sides have their own version of Stockholm syndrome. So the elites aren't these all-knowing, all-menacing, whatever. It's just two camps that have been in a codependent, dysfunctional, fucked up cycle since the beginning of fucking humanity, and now we're finally starting to realize it and break the cycle. And we're not breaking the cycle by going and protesting on anyone's front lawn or going all fucking SJW on anybody's ass. We're breaking the cycle by being the examples of the change that we want to create, by doing right for ourselves, so people see it and go, wow, what are you doing that's working for you? And then, ta-da, information gets shared. World gets better one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
One person at a time. Plus, the math is exponential anyway. If one person helps 10 people, who each then help 10 people, and you get the idea.
Totally. It's the
Yep.
way to do it.
So thank you everybody for watching. You can go to
Thank you, everybody.
KaterinaRoy.com. You can go to KaterinaRoy.com and check out all her stuff. You can find her easily on Facebook. Just look for Katerina Edwards Roy, and she'll pop right up. And she's also KaterinaRoy.deviantart.com, Pinterest.com/Katerina Roy, Twitter.com/Katerina Roy.
I'm not on Twitter.
Oh, at all?
I don't use it. I don't even know what my handle is anymore.
I'm on Twitter by way of Edgar. I don't use it either. It uses it for me, and it's had good results. So
Nice.
So yeah, go online, check out her stuff, and you can also do a search for Katerina Roy on YouTube, and she'll pop up. But you can also go to KaterinaRoy.com and get her YouTube anyway. So there you go. So I hope everybody found this fun and educational and helpful. And neither of us are doctors. We're not prescribing anything or making any claims or selling any products. We're just being honest about what we've done for ourselves. And you can do with that information or not, whatever you want to do with that information or not. We're not prescribing a damn thing. We're just admitting the truth about our own journeys, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. But nobody ever died from eating more fruits and vegetables, and even the doctors will recommend that you do that, at least the ones that have 2 brain cells.
Yeah. Totally.
Yep. All right, everybody. Peace out.
Laters.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Yep. Thank you. Subscribe, motherfucker. Subscribe. Kick this. Praise kick. Bye-bye.